First of all, they reduce the integrity of the electoral process because it then means people were not free in making their choices. Either they were influenced, they were coerced, or they were prevented from being able to exercise their democratic right. So in that sense, then it makes the process less credible. It reduces the value of participating in such a process because elections are about bridging us from one set of leadership to another set of leadership, and it's how citizens participate in that exercise. So it's the ultimate exercise, well, not the ultimate, but an important exercise of sovereignty as per our constitution. So once you diminish the integrity of that, you also diminish the integrity of sovereignty, which, is tragic. The first one, because responsibility starts with ourselves, and where there are rights, we also have duties, is don't commit electoral offenses. So don't be the person that is committing hate speech. Don't be the person that is bribing or accepting a bribe. Don't be the person causing violence and all the other offenses that are linked with the electoral issues. Don't be stealing ballot boxes, destroying electoral material, etc. So that's the first step for citizens. But the second is also to keep an eye out and discourage others. So talk about it and tell people it is the wrong thing to do. And where possible, also report it to the relevant authorities. So if it is an incident of hate speech, then you go to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. If it is one of those other crimes, you can also report to the police or to the IEBC or to whoever is in charge. So take it upon ourselves to ensure that some action is also taken towards preventing that. Is there anything else they can do? So don't do it, speak about it, but also report it. I think the law fails, on two levels. One, as we've seen, is on the evidentiary level. So legal parameters are so strict that if you don't have certain thresholds and certain things in place, it becomes difficult to prosecute. So we might see you, we might catch you on video, as we've seen people being caught on video. But the laws as they are now in Kenya means that you don't just need the video, you need to find the device in which the video is made. Now, in this day and age of WhatsApp, that's very difficult to find. So it becomes difficult to prosecute, and prosecution is one way of deterring others, because if you see people being punished, you're less likely to do it. So the law fails sometimes at the level of the high threshold for evidence. The second is just, lack of commitment to implementation and to follow up. And I think there's certain things that we can do that are not even necessarily legal, but naming and shaming and profiling and speaking about it and making it behavior that is not condoned, so that even when the law fails, the moral norms make people feel like this is not something I want to be caught doing. So that is one aspect. But just our own, if everybody played their part, because you would have the citizen sees it and reports it, the police picks it up, should investigate and provide evidence that the DPP can use to prosecute in court. Now, if along that chain one person fails to do their job, then the law doesn't get to be exercised. So everybody has a responsibility in that chain. If everybody did their responsibility, then we would have a result. So that even if the law failed, or if something, IEBC still has a role to play in saying you've been suspected or you have been caught doing electoral offenses, we shouldn't put you on the ballot. Unfortunately, not everybody at the level of individuals, but also not at the level of institutions, is committed to implementation. If everybody was committed to implementation, at least we would see, even if it is a delay, even if evidence fails, that the process, when you're taken through such a process and your name is out there, it makes you feel bad. But if the ball is already dropped by police not being interested, or by IEBC not being interested, or by the DPP not being interested, then we've already lost the game. Well, citizens, I think, can express concern through public interest litigation. If it is a criminal offense, then you might need a criminal suit, which requires police and everybody in that chain to get involved. But I think it is possible for citizens to start pushing that sort of public-spirited litigation to say, yes, the criminal law may have failed, but we feel that this person has done certain things that have diluted the quality of our electoral process, and we think something should be said about it. If you're lucky, then the court gives direction or advisories or something that would improve, I think, the process. So it would be good to get more citizens standing up, but the other way citizens can participate is also at the level of the ballot box. You don't have to vote for people who have committed electoral offenses, or people who their supporters commit electoral offenses and they don't speak out about it. So there are several ways in which citizens, I think, can also put their foot down and say this is unacceptable behavior and we will not tolerate it. And court is one way, through public interest litigation, but the other way is through the various processes we participate in. So if it is not at the ballot, and even if the person gets through, then we have a role to keep them on toes and say, we may have missed you before the election, but we've got our eye on you. And if you don't deliver, if you don't perform, come next election, we've also got our eye on you. So I think it's up to us to be innovative. The Constitution gives us lots of room and I think lots of space to participate in various processes, and it's up to us to take advantage of those. But also make sure we know what the law is, because you also don't want to say, I didn't know what the law was.